Hello everyone. Today, I want to tell you another story about living without my phone for one day. But this time, I want to focus on something deeper. Not only the phone itself, not only social media, not only notifications. I want to talk about attention. Because in our modern life, attention is one of the most valuable things we have. When you give your attention to something, you give a part of your life to it. If you spend 1 hour watching random videos, that hour is gone. If you spend 1 hour comparing yourself to other people online, that hour is gone. If you spend 1 hour reading, learning, walking, thinking, or speaking with someone you love, that hour is also gone. The difference is how you feel after. Some activities give you energy. Some activities take your energy. Some activities make you feel proud. Some activities make you feel empty. And that is what I started to understand when I tried to spend more time away from my phone. One Sunday morning, I woke up and immediately felt the temptation to check my phone. It was automatic. My eyes were barely open, but my hand was already moving toward the table next to my bed. I wanted to check the time. Then I wanted to check my messages. Then maybe the weather. Then maybe social media. Then maybe one video. Just one. But I knew exactly how it would end. One video would become 10 videos. 10 videos would become 30 minutes. 30 minutes would become 1 hour. And then I would start my day already tired. So I stopped myself. I left the phone on the table. I didn't touch it. I looked at it for a few seconds, almost like it was trying to call me. And I said to myself, "Not now. Today I choose my morning." That sentence may sound simple, but it changed the energy of the day. Today I choose my morning. I got out of bed without checking anything. No messages. No news. No videos. No notifications. For the first few minutes, I felt uncomfortable. It was like my brain was asking for information. What happened during the night? Did someone send me a message? Did I miss something? Is there something important? But the truth is, most mornings, nothing important has happened. Most of the time, we check our phones not because we need information, but because we want stimulation. We want something to wake up our brain. A message. A video. A little surprise. A little dopamine. Something. Anything. But that morning, I gave my brain nothing. I opened the curtains. The room was still dark, but a little light was coming through the window. The sky was gray. The street was quiet. I could hear a car in the distance. I could hear someone walking outside. I could hear the sound of the building. Small sounds. Normal sounds. Sounds that are usually hidden under music, videos, and notifications. I washed my face, brushed my teeth, and made my bed. Normally, these actions feel like background tasks. I do them quickly while thinking about my phone or about what I need to do. But that morning I noticed them. The cold water on my face. The sound of the toothbrush. The smell of toothpaste. The feeling of clean sheets. The quiet room. It sounds small, but it made me feel more present. Then I went to the kitchen. I made breakfast. I wanted to put something on in the background. A video. A podcast. Music. Anything. The silence felt too big. So I almost took my phone. But again I stopped. I told myself, let the silence exist. At first the silence was uncomfortable. Then it became normal. Then it became peaceful. I prepared my breakfast slowly. I heated some bread. I made a drink. I sat at the table. I ate without looking at a screen. At first I didn't know where to look. That is funny when you think about it. We are so used to looking at screens that when there is no screen, we don't know what to do with our eyes. So I looked through the window. I watched people walking. A man was walking quickly with a backpack. A woman was holding a shopping bag. A child was running next to his father. A delivery driver stopped near the building. A bird landed on a small wall. Nothing special. But I noticed it. And when you notice life, life feels bigger. After breakfast, I decided to clean my room. Not because I love cleaning, but because I wanted to do something useful instead of checking my phone. My room was not terrible, but it was not perfect either. There were clothes on a chair. Some papers on the desk. A bottle of water next to the bed. A few books stacked without order. Chargers, cables, small objects, random things everywhere. A normal room. A lived-in room. I started with the desk. I removed everything. I cleaned the surface. I put the books together. I threw away old papers. I organized my notebooks. I put the pens in one place. Then I looked at the desk and felt better immediately. There is something powerful about a clean space. When your environment is messy, your mind can feel messy too. But when you clean your space, you create a little clarity. Not perfect clarity, but enough to breathe. Then I cleaned the floor. I folded the clothes. I opened the window. Fresh air entered the room. The room felt different. And I felt different too. I realized that if I had spent the morning on my phone, I would probably still be in bed, tired, scrolling, with the same messy room around me. But because I didn't use my phone, I had done something real. Something visible. Something that made my day better. This is one of the problems with too much scrolling. You consume a lot, but you create nothing. You watch many things, but your own life stays the same. You see people doing things, but you don't move. You see people traveling, building, learning, training, cooking, creating, improving. And instead of doing your own thing, you keep watching. Of course, watching can be useful. You can learn. You can be inspired. You can discover new ideas. But after a certain point, inspiration becomes distraction. You don't need more content. You need action. That morning, cleaning my room was a small action. But it felt better than 1 hour of scrolling. After cleaning, I sat at my desk. I opened a notebook. I decided to write down what I wanted to do that day. Not a long list. Not a perfect productivity plan. Just a few simple things. Walk outside. Read 20 pages. Prepare a meal. Write for 10 minutes. Call or talk to someone. Sleep earlier. That was it. Simple. Realistic. I like simple lists because they don't scare you. Sometimes we make huge plans and then we do nothing because the plan feels too heavy. But a small list is easier. You can start. And starting is often the hardest part. After writing the list, I looked again at my phone. It was still on the table. Face down. Silent. I wanted to check it. The temptation was still there. But it was weaker than before. That is interesting. The first temptation is strong. Then if you don't obey it, it becomes smaller. A craving is like a wave. It rises. It feels powerful. But if you wait, it goes down. You don't always need to follow the wave. Sometimes you can just watch it pass. I left the phone at home and went outside for a walk. No headphones. No music. No map. No podcast. Just walking. At first my mind was noisy. Even without the phone, my brain was still jumping. I thought about messages. I thought about things I needed to do. I thought about social media. I thought about people. I thought about random memories. But after 10 minutes of walking, my mind started to calm down. My steps found a rhythm. The street became more interesting. I noticed the weather. It was cloudy but bright. The air was fresh. There was a little wind. People were wearing jackets. A bakery was open. A bus passed by. A man was standing outside a cafe with a coffee in his hand. A dog pulled on its leash because it wanted to smell something near a tree. A woman laughed on the phone. A cyclist passed quickly. A group of teenagers crossed the street. Life was happening everywhere. And I was finally paying attention. I walked to a small park. The park was not famous. It was not special. It was not something you would see in a travel video. But it was enough. There were trees. Benches. A path. A few people. A little space to breathe. I sat on a bench and watched the world. Again, I had the impulse to take out my phone. When we wait, we check. When we sit, we check. When we feel bored, we check. When we feel awkward, we check. The phone has become the answer to every empty moment. But maybe empty moments are necessary. Maybe boredom is not the enemy. Maybe boredom is the beginning of creativity. When you are bored, your mind starts looking for something. An idea. A memory. A question. A dream. a solution. But if you fill every empty moment with content, your mind never gets the chance to speak. So I stayed there. No phone. No distraction. Just thoughts. At first, random thoughts came. Then deeper thoughts. I thought about how I use my time. I thought about the person I want to become. I thought about how many hours I lose without noticing. I thought about the difference between resting and escaping. That difference is important. Resting gives you energy. Escaping often makes you feel more tired. If you watch a movie intentionally, enjoy it, and then feel relaxed, that is rest. If you scroll for 2 hours because you don't want to think about your life and then you feel empty, that is escape. The activity can look the same from the outside, but the feeling after is different. That day, I understood that I didn't want to remove entertainment from my life. I just wanted to stop using entertainment to avoid myself. After the park, I went to a small shop. I bought some food for lunch. Without my phone, I had more eye contact with people. I noticed the cashier. I noticed the other customers. I noticed the music in the shop. I noticed small details on the shelves. Usually while waiting in line, I check my phone. But this time I waited. That's all. I waited. And nothing bad happened. This is another thing we forget. Waiting is normal. We don't need to fill every second. A few minutes in line can simply be a few minutes in line. You can breathe. You can think. You can look around. You can be present. When I came home, I cooked lunch. Again, I wanted to watch something while cooking. But I didn't. I cooked slowly. I listened to the sound of the pan. I smelled the food. I cleaned while waiting. Then I sat down and ate. No screen. Just food. At first, eating without a screen felt boring. Then I noticed that I was eating more slowly. I was tasting the food more. I was stopping when I felt full. Usually when I eat with a video, I eat automatically. My eyes are on the screen. My hand moves. My mouth eats. But my mind is somewhere else. That day my mind was there. With the food. With the moment. After lunch I read a book. I had planned to read 20 pages. The first pages were difficult. Not because the book was hard, but because my concentration was weak. My brain wanted something faster. A book does not give you a reward every 3 seconds. There are no likes. No comments. No next video. No bright colors jumping at your face. Only words. Sentences. Ideas. At first it felt slow. Then after a few pages something changed. I entered the rhythm of the book. My breathing slowed down. My thoughts became quieter. I started to enjoy the story. And when I finished 20 pages I felt proud. Not because 20 pages is a lot, but because I had kept a promise to myself. That is an underrated feeling. Keeping a promise to yourself. Every time you say, I will do this, and you actually do it, you build trust with yourself. Every time you say, I will stop after 5 minutes, but you continue for 1 hour, you lose a little trust with yourself. That may sound dramatic, but it is true. Discipline is not only about big achievements. It is also about small promises. I said I would read 20 pages. I did it. That small action made me feel stronger. Later in the afternoon, I felt the strongest temptation of the day. I was tired. A little bored. A little lonely. And my brain started negotiating. Just check your phone for 5 minutes. Just see if you have messages. Just watch one video. You deserve it. You already did well. This is how temptation speaks. It sounds reasonable. It tries to make the bad habit look small. Just 5 minutes. But I knew 5 minutes could easily become 1 hour. So instead of taking my phone, I took my notebook. I wrote a question at the top of the page. What am I really looking for right now? Then I answered. I am not looking for my phone. I am looking for stimulation. I am looking for comfort. I am looking for connection. I am looking for something easy. That helped me understand the feeling. Sometimes we think we want our phone. But actually we want something else. We want to feel less alone. We want to avoid boredom. We want to avoid stress. We want to feel rewarded. We want to forget something. The phone is just the tool. The real need is deeper. So I asked myself, what can I do instead? I could go outside. I could call someone later. I could write. I could stretch. I could make tea. I could clean something. I could read. I could simply rest. I decided to make tea. I boiled water. I prepared the cup. I waited. Waiting for water to boil is such a simple thing. But that day I noticed it. The sound of the kettle. The steam. The warmth of the cup. The smell of the tea. I sat near the window and drank it slowly. And the temptation passed. That was important. I didn't fight the temptation with force. I replaced it with another action. Sometimes that is the best strategy. Don't just say, I will not use my phone. Say, when I want to use my phone, I will do something else. A habit needs a replacement. If you remove something and leave an empty space, your brain will try to bring the old habit back. But if you fill the space with something better, change becomes easier. In the evening, I went for another short walk. This time, the sky was changing color. The day was almost finished. I looked at the sunset. My first reflex was to take a picture. But my phone was not with me. For a second, I felt frustrated. It was beautiful and I wanted to keep it. But then I thought, maybe I can keep it by really looking at it. So I stopped walking. I watched the sky. Orange near the horizon. Blue above. Gray clouds moving slowly. Light on the buildings. Shadows on the street. It lasted only a few minutes. Then the colors changed. And that was it. The moment disappeared. But I had seen it. Really seen it. Not through a camera. Not through a screen. With my own eyes. That felt rare. We are so used to capturing moments that sometimes we forget to experience them. A photo can help you remember. But a photo cannot replace attention. If you take a picture but you never really looked, what did you keep? When I came back home, I finally checked my phone for a short time. I decided to check only important messages. No social media. No random videos. Just messages. There were some notifications. Nothing urgent. A few messages. Some app alerts. Some emails. The world had continued. I had missed nothing important. But I had gained something. A calmer mind. A cleaner room.